Roger Stone is set to be sentenced later today after being found guilty of obstruction, making false statements to Congress, and witness tampering. But amid the political firestorm surrounding his case, what is the most appropriate sentence for Stone to receive? And can he expect President Trump to possibly pardon him? These are the questions. Let's bring in attorney Brian Rotella. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
There's been a lot of, commentary about what Roger Stone deserves. Some say that the recommendations are too harsh. Others say that they are fair. What do you say?
I say, Hollywood talks a lot about politics. I think this could be a sequel to All the President's Men, all of the president's make-believe men. That's what this case was against Roger Stone from a legal perspective, Cheryl. We had a juror who had a clear political bias. You had a President Obama appointee judge. And for the folks out there, so they understand what this case was about whether Roger Stone knew Julian Assange and whether he knew that WikiLeaks was going to dump emails about John Podesta, who was running Hillary Clinton's campaign. He got convicted, and now the sentencing is for 8 years, 8 to 9 years, that Roger Stone could go to jail. If somebody can go to jail in this country for that, that to me is a crime. I do think that the president very possibly will intervene here. I think that at the very most, this should have been a probationary 15 to 21 months charge.
Well, but let me push back on that a little bit, because the jury convicted him in November 7 counts of lying to Congress and witness tampering. I mean, those are serious allegations.
Yeah, Cheryl, they're serious allegations, and by no means am I saying that anyone should be out there lying to Congress or tampering with any witnesses, but they're talking about tampering with a comedian by the last name of Credico that apparently Mr. Stone knew, and that was the intermediary between Julian Assange. And my big issue here is the Mueller investigation found no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Well, that means anything that Roger Stone was saying was made up. Should we really be paying tax dollars for a prosecution of somebody like Mr. Stone ultimately to be convicted in a case like this?
Well, the legal team, his legal team, says that he shouldn't serve any jail time. Maybe 1 to 2 years, do you think is possible? And back to the president intervening, do you see any problems with that if the president does decide to step in at some point?
Well, look, if we want to make a point that you shouldn't lie to Congress, now this was the House Intelligence Committee, and how many people, quite frankly, may have ever done that, including in the last few years, then yes, probation or possibly maybe 1 year in prison. That may be fair.
Okay.
If this is going to stay at 7 to 8 years, I do think the president would be in his rights to intervene, Cheryl.
Before I let you go, Brian, real quick, Harvey Weinstein, day 2 of jury deliberations, nothing from the jury, some very intriguing questions from the jury to the judge. What's your thoughts right now?
The jury instructions, Cheryl, in this Weinstein case have turned into a science experiment. Very quickly for your audience, I don't know if I was on this jury as a 20-year practicing attorney, I would understand it. And the question they're asking is, what are we supposed to do with this? You have 3 different women with 3 different charges, essentially, trying to figure out what's called forcible compulsion. Talk about a legal term. I think we got to really take a look at this and find out, for people like monsters like Weinstein, how can we simplify this for juries so they can make the right decision?
Yeah, I had an attorney tell me yesterday the same thing. He said, I'm a lawyer and I'm struggling to figure this one out. Well, we shall see what the jury says. Brian, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.